Position yourself to receive from God with Bishop David G. Evans teaching When Men Pray.
Have there been times when you have asked someone to pray for you and the prayer has not been answered? Because instead of praying for yourself, you waited until someone else that you thought had more power would pray for you. Prayer is something that you resort to immediately and not as a last resort. You need to learn how to pray preemptively. You need how to pray ahead of time. Don't always be praying in response. Pray proactively. Pray before it happens. Lord, cover my child. Lord, bless my day.
Develop your relationship with God with this dynamic teaching on CD or DVD when you write to us. Visit our website or call 1-800-591-8480.
It's now easier than ever to stay connected with David G. Evans and the Bethany Baptist Church family. Follow the ministry and rejoice in all that God is doing by following us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. On Facebook, you'll be up to date on the latest happenings, and you can watch our Sunday services on Facebook Live, 8 and 11 a.m. Eastern.
Here comes the power. Hallelujah.
Words of wisdom and encouragement can be found on Twitter, and you'll get up-to-the-minute sermon points as they happen in our weekly worship services. Follow us on Instagram and be blessed by the inspirational and special moments that are highlighted each week, and meet the people who are the heart of our ministry. And if it's video you want, subscribe to the Bethany Baptist Church channel on YouTube. See the celebrations, the special events, and the many, many people who are helping to transform lives one at a time. Stay connected with David G. Evans on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube, and become a member of our broadcast family today.
What if you could make one decision to unleash everything great in your life? Would you do it? Would you say yes? Are you tired of your relationships, your health, and so much more suffering because you lack the truth you need to change? The life you desire is within your reach. You can achieve all the success, happiness, and prosperity you deserve by simply learning the secrets that lead to real personal transformation. Change is hard, but not impossible. You just have to make one radical decision to get real. And there's no better authority on the real steps to change than David G. Evans.
Some men trust in chariots. Some men trust in horses. But we will trust in the Lord.
David G. Evans is leading the charge to bring you the power to change your life. He is committed to the mission of helping you transform and become a person of power, and it starts with his all-new system to change your situation. At the centerpiece of this life-altering collection is David Evans' groundbreaking training course. From ridiculous to radical to real, this means war. In this series, you will discover the steps to change. This series includes 2 powerful messages, each on winning the battle in your mind and cultivating a language of faith. That's 4 messages, 4 power-filled hours of material. If you want a better marriage, this series has the answers. If you want to achieve financial independence God's way, the secrets in this series will empower you to make it happen. If you want a life of power, anointing, and influence, this series will show you how to get it, and there's more. You're looking for serious, immediate results. So Bishop Evans will also include one of his best-selling messages called Weapon of Warfare. This classic teaching will build you up to start fighting in the spirit for what you deserve. This powerhouse collection, from ridiculous to radical to real, and Weapon of Warfare, will give you all the biblical strategies you need to change anything in your life. This collection will ship to you immediately with your gift today to David G. Evans Ministries. This ministry is revolutionizing the kingdom by empowering believers. Souls are being saved daily, and we need your help to grow this impact in a real way. Call now and sow your seed of just $35 for your transformation to help people around the world. Your $35 love gift goes straight to the front lines of ministry, providing help to those that need it most. Call now. Make the decision to get the power you need to change your life forever.
Allow God's living waters to wash over you and refresh your soul.
You've been praying for yourself when the answer is in praying for other people. While I'm praying for California, God shows up in my house.
As kingdom people, with the king in us and us being sovereign ground, we're not governed by the laws of this land, but we're governed by the laws of heaven.
He's talking about you gonna draw water from the wells of salvation. Where's the well? In you.
If we want to release the water, watch this, we don't have to pray for it to come. Where we are now, we pray for it to be released.
Release deliverance and transformation in every area of your life through God's living waters. This revitalizing 3-message series can be yours on CD or DVD when you visit our website or call 1-800-591-8480 today.
Isn't it time to stop reliving your past hurts and move on to a bright and hopeful future?
I have a right to be upset, but I don't have a right to be wounded for the rest of my life. So I choose to be healed.
Get rid of the bitter poison that unforgiveness administers to the soul with Bishop David G. Evans. Forgive again, live again.
It's a liberating experience, and being able to forgive someone and forgiving yourself. It's liberating.
Forgiveness will deliver me in 3 dimensions. From what happened, from who it happened with, from when it happened. Because sometimes you'll get free from the what, but the who will still have you bound.
This highly sought-after 4-part message of healing can be yours on CD or DVD. Act now, and we'll include Bishop's book, Healed Without Scars, with your order absolutely free. All yours when you visit our website or call 1-800-591-8480 today. It's the catalyst for change you've been waiting on. New Mind, New Me, from Bishop David G. Evans.
I want to be loved. Why do I take the person that loves me and kick them to the curb? I want to be wealthy, but I spend all my money. You were created and given a slave, a doulos, a servant called your mind. Your mind is out of order when it questions your command.
If you are ready for true transformation, Bishop David G. Evans would like to bless you with the New Mind, New Me 4-message DVD set. Order today, and you will also receive Bishop Evans' national best-selling book, Healed Without Scars, as well as the Healed Without Scars music CD.
My mind's going where I tell it to go. It'll never go back. It's my mind. It's going to do what I say.
All yours when you visit our website or call 1-800-591-8480 today. Be prepared to watch a new you emerge.
Well, praise the Lord, everybody. Welcome to On Point, the #1 Saturday morning Christian-based call-in talk show in America. Live every Saturday morning from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Any smart device in your possession at David G. Evans 1. That's at David G. Evans 1. We invite you to call in, get started early. There's a whole lot we have to talk about today.
Yeah.
Once again, I'm your host, Bishop David G. Evans, and my world-famous co-host, Reverend Nicholas A. Smith.
Good morning, sir.
Amen. 1-866-743. Want to give you these numbers right off the top. 1-866-743-8267. 1-866-743-8267. 1-866-74-EVANS. Give us a call. We're anxious to talk about those things that matter to you today. Whole lot going on in the United States of America. I purposely watch newscasts and opinions of people that I don't agree with. I think it's wise to do that. I know a lot of people don't feel as though they can. But I think it's important to know what people that don't agree with you are thinking and not just hear it from other folk. there were some things said this week, especially since the execution style attempt on Mr. Blake's life. Some things are not making common or spiritual sense to me, which I expect them at times not to make spiritual sense. But as it relates to humanity, some things are not making sense to my preferences, but to my reality. I think I'm hesitant to admit fully that we are emotionally and culturally dealing with. I feel like I'm back in the era when Strom Thurmond and George Wallace were aggressive. I feel like we're dealing with McCarthy types of behavior, and where there is a sense of acceptance by a large segment of the country, by people who don't understand the history of the country, that these individuals, these mindsets, these movements all come to an end. The only movement that has not come to an end became more sophisticated. But now there is a brazenness where it feels to me that some part of the system has mandated there'll be no consequences for certain behaviors among certain segments of people. Because my president has a tendency to compare his administration to the Obama administration, and in my lifetime, he's the only president that I have served under that blames other administrations for what he's experiencing in his own. This upheaval includes, if you will, the era of President Trump. It boggles my mind that he's not taking credit for it doesn't appear as though he's taking credit for the way the coronavirus was handled. He's the president of the United States. He's not taking credit for the 36 or 40 million people that are on unemployment and lost their jobs. He's the president of the United States. He's not taking any responsibility for the hit that the economy has made. And I'm amazed that there's a segment of society that does not understand when they talk about the economy, they're not including most of Americans. Most of us don't invest in stocks. Most of us don't have trust funds. Most of us don't have mansions. Most of us are not making above maybe $200,000 a year. And these tax breaks cause middle America to pay the IRS back sums of money they've gotten in returns for the last 20 years, ended up paying $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 to the IRS. Yet those same people that had to pay are saying the economy is better. I don't understand how, we're in the trillions as far as debt, which was an anathema to Republicans literally my whole life. Debt was not accepted. So now we've got trillions of dollars in debt, and I don't hear the Republican Party saying a word. And what's even more troubling to me is my Republican friends are very vocal, except when it comes to acknowledging that we've got some problems. I don't get it.
Well, it's part of it. To me, part of it is is for some, the system is working the way it was designed.
Exactly.
And for them, that's okay, no matter who it hurts.
Okay.
So as long as
that's not for most people.
That's not for most people, but that's for a certain segment of people that are okay with things being the way that they are, as long as it benefits them and nobody else. Fear is a great tactic to influence people.
Yes.
It's that whole Machiavellian. When you read Machiavelli's The Prince, he talks about a leader being loved versus a leader being feared.
Absolutely.
And how one lasts longer than the other,
Mm-hmm.
and those things like that.
Mm-hmm.
All you're hearing from that side is fear, 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 and they're voting out of the fear and the anxiety of the what if.
Yes.
Not realizing that these brown folk aren't taking your jobs. It's the government that's actually moving the jobs out of middle America.
Mm-hmm.
But if you don't see a certain group of people as human,
Mm-hmm.
as valued,
Mm-hmm.
then to hell with what happens to them.
Mm-hmm.
They deserve it anyway.
Yeah.
Those are just my godliest thoughts I can
Well, I you know,
can say for right now.
I believe you're right. I think we're on the right track.
Yeah.
You know, the reality is that middle America and lower income people carry the tax revenue burden of this nation.
Yeah.
The tax breaks did not come to those two segments.
Yeah.
There's 1/3 that has the economic, monetary, influential leverage,
Yep.
and it's not middle America, and it's not lower income America. Yet those two segments are the majority.
Yep.
So my issue now becomes that they are actually accusing all of us, Democrats and Republicans, of a lack of intelligence and a herd mentality and tapping into a fear that has been manifested during my president's administration. Yet he takes no responsibility for what's happening on his watch.
Yep. Yep.
Yet he holds every other president responsible for what happened on their watch.
Yeah. Well, he's always been like this.
Well, yeah, I know that.
And that.
But he hasn't always been president.
Yeah, but that's the thing. And people thought once he became president, he would grow into the role.
What have I said, right? What have I said continually? When tremendous opportunity is presented to you, you do not rise to the occasion.
Yep.
You fall to the level of your preparation.
Yep.
That's how things work. People think if I get a national stage, I'm going to sing better than I ever sang. I'm going to play better than I ever played. I'm going to hit shots I've never hit before. No. You don't rise to an occasion. You fall to the level of your preparation.
Yep.
Your preparation is revealed.
Yep.
And his preparation, my president's preparation, is being revealed every single day.
Yep.
And he is not a crisis person.
Not at all. Yep. And I will give him this. He is a marketer to no end. He knows what his group wants, and he throws them the bone. That, to me, his acceptance speech at the White House with the fireworks, even though I thought it was wrong, was completely genius.
Well, and here's what really blew my mind. 1,500 people.
Yep.
Willing to get sick just to say they were there.
Yep.
And this thing is not go home, drink fluids, and get some rest.
Yep.
This thing is go to the hospital and perhaps not die.
Yep.
Or you don't go to the hospital and pass it to your relatives
Absolutely.
who perhaps die.
Absolutely.
This is not the flu. Because I have had the flu in the past, but I did not need rehab after I got over it.
Yep.
This thing requires rehabilitation.
Absolutely.
And long-term effects. So, I am amazed that we are not seeing the truth that my president is attempting to duplicate, imitate the dictators that he admires around the nation. And here's my indictment. His party members who are in office are not saying a word to rebel against it.
Yep.
I've got an issue with that. We got people on the line. Angela from Kentucky, Jay from Delaware, John from New Jersey. Let's go to Angela from Kentucky. Good morning, Angela. Welcome to On Point.
Good morning. Good morning, Bishop. Good morning, Pastor Nick.
Good morning.
How are you today?
I am wonderful today. I know we're in this national period of grief right now, I just woke up to find out that
man.
Chadwick Bowen has
so
left
sad.
us, 43 years old, young man.
Yeah.
And the 39 children that were found, we didn't even know those children were missing.
What 39 children?
39 children. What
But
39 children?
Something amazing happened to
Angela.
me.
Angela, hold up.
Yes, sir.
What 39 children?
I've seen online that there were 39 children that were recovered. Pastor Nick, have you heard about that?
No.
No. Recovered from what?
They found 39 missing children.
That's kind of vague,
And-
Angela.
Yeah.
Yeah, the information is just coming in about that.
Okay.
So we're trying to
Yeah,
figure out.
we don't want to
where
start.
these
We don't want to start.
39
We want to start a rumor.
Right.
We want to start truth.
Right.
Oh, no, yeah.
So 39 missing children
Yeah.
have been found. That was
In
the-
Georgia, sex trafficking. They found 39 children
39 children.
in a sex
We
trafficking
didn't know
ring
39
in Georgia.
children were missing.
Wow.
So-
Where are their parents?
I don't know.
We've heard nothing about that. So that's why that was so.
Where were their parents?
I don't know. Well, see, I don't know if
No.
these are some of the kids from that, they put out the post of missing children, because they're taking these kids from stores, and I don't know how.
Gotta keep your eye on your kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't send them in the store by themselves.
And in some cases, the parents are with them, maybe holding another child. We've seen a lot of footage of that, and they just run in and take the wandering child and get in a vehicle and ride off.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, early in our ministry, there was a young man who was a part of a kidnapping ring who
Yes.
got saved at our church. Immediately came in for counseling and began to tell me how it was done, where it was done, how they facilitated it, how they hid them, and how they eventually got them out of the country. It was I was torn between, and I'm being honest, I was torn between acting like a pastor and wanting to take the guy out while I was talking to him, because the things he was describing, and his guilt was the amount of pain he had caused. Decent people out with their children at the park. He wait for a moment, take the kid. They got a high rise with a sub below ground parking lot. Pull into that parking lot, take them up to a place, an apartment or a condominium in the building. Wait a month, and then ship them out of town.
Jesus.
He made a career doing this. Now, as God would have it, he got saved, and then God took him about 5-6 years after that.
Wow.
But I was like, if that's not evil, I don't know what is.
Yeah.
That is extremely evil. And the reason that I called so early this morning, something happened to me this week that I just had to share with you. I've been up since 7 o'clock waiting for the program to start.
Come on, tell us. You got another couple minutes. Let's go.
Yeah, I got to get in front of this thing.
Okay.
I got to get in front of what's happening, the spirit of what's happening. So I was in prayer time, and I got a phone call from a female, I believe one of your associates in ministry.
Okay.
And she was inviting me as a new member of the Connections Church.
Okay.
And she was, number one, it was a woman.
Okay.
And I believe she's in ministry, so
Okay.
that blessed my heart.
Okay.
And she was so kind, and she was so accepting, and, I have a tendency to rattle, so she let me rattle. And I was really
No.
Said, yeah, just a tad. That I appreciate you
Right.
for TBN and Mark Sharona and all of this stuff.
Yeah.
And she said, well, wait a minute. I think I recognize your voice from calling the radio program.
Wow.
And that really hit me.
Okay.
That really struck me. So what I wanted to wake up this morning and call you and say that the same spirit that's on you is on your staff.
I appreciate that.
It's on Pastor Nick. It is on the people who call. I don't know if you know the impact of having kind people in the world, how important that is right now.
Wow.
It is extremely important. And I am telling you, you may feel like that your candle is flickering, but it is not. They have your same spirit. They have your same heart. I watch your programs. I watch your lives. I watch the things that you do. And the same spirit that's on you is on your staff. And I just want to encourage you to keep doing what you're doing, even in this very, very dark time.
I appreciate you, Angela. Thank you for that. And formally, welcome to the Connections Church.
Thank you very much.
God bless you.
You guys have an amazing day.
You too now. Stay safe.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
1-866-743-8267. 1-866-743-8267. We're going from Kentucky to Delaware and talk to Jay. You guys can give us a call. Jay, good morning.
Good morning, gentlemen. How are you?
We're doing great, man. Welcome to On Point.
Yes, I'm a first-time listener.
Great.
First-time caller. So
Welcome.
I really enjoy what I'm hearing so far, but let me start off by saying this. I'm an ideological Republican. I'm an African-American who is a Republican.
Okay.
Sure. Because I believe in Republican ideology, but I don't necessarily subscribe to everything that the party does.
That's all we've been waiting to hear.
That's fine.
That's fine.
So, I go to meetings.
Okay.
And you talk to why the Republican, and it just amazes me. I am not a Trump supporter.
Okay.
I'm a never Trumper, if that's a thing.
Okay.
But I go to these meetings, and there are people in the meeting who don't agree with anything that what Trump is doing, or they don't agree with his presidency, but they're too afraid to anger their base.
Yep.
To anger their constituents, not to support them.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
These are people who I sit in Republican committee meetings.
Okay.
Through Pennsylvania, Philadelphia, Montgomery County,
Okay.
New Jersey,
Okay.
Delaware, Maryland, Virginia.
Okay.
And they refuse because they don't want to anger anyone in their base. So they'll just they put the blinders on and just, oh well, it's happening. Oh, but we got to support them. We got to support them. We got to support them. And the party refuses to reinvent itself.
They're scared.
Well, let me ask you a question, Jay. I'm glad. Thank you for calling us first off. But let me ask you a question. Have you, after going to so many meetings and after recognizing the patterns, is it really politics over people at this point?
Oh, it's definitely politics over people.
So the same people that are supporting know that some of their constituents may suffer under these present policies?
Oh, yeah.
And they're willing to sacrifice them for the seat that they have?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Wow.
And what people fail to forget about Donald Trump is that he's a man who's always been privileged, a man who's always used to getting what he wants. This is a man who said, don't be afraid of debt. He wrote a whole book about it. Don't be afraid of debt. Debt is good. He's built his businesses off of debt.
And bankrupting them.
And bankrupted them.
Yes, sir.
So why are we surprised?
Well, I think the only people that are surprised are those that did not live in New York, which is the rest of the nation.
And we look at this guy, and there's nothing presidential about him.
No.
There was nothing executive about him before he became president.
That's true.
Look. You look at the history of Donald Trump, and you look how he acts. He whines. He doesn't speak. He whines. I've never seen a speech, meeting, anything that he's been at that has excited me. That, wow, okay, maybe let me give this guy a chance. Never, not once.
Let me ask you a question. What are you telling me that this malaise goes all the way up to McConnell and those top politicians in the party that serve in the White House?
Of course they. Mitch McConnell can't afford to anger anybody in the party because he holds one of the most powerful seats in the country.
Mm-hmm.
He's the Senate Majority Leader. He has stopped legislation. I mean, we saw what he did with Merrick Garland in the Obama administration, so we know how much power he wields.
Then why doesn't he wield it in this situation where it's making the party that he says he loves looks like they've come apart at the seams? Because how do the constitutionalists suddenly become unconstitutional?
Man, it's a good question. McConnell is, again, if he doesn't want to anger the Republicans. This is why, gosh.
But isn't he from Kentucky?
Right.
Isn't his state Kentucky. One of the poorest states in the Union?
Mm-hmm.
His people suffer, and they keep electing him.
But because there are those people in Kentucky, we know it's a poor state, but because they're that white, lower class constituent who believe in Trump policies, who believe he's going to make America great again, who believe that they have been disenfranchised.
Yep.
He can't anger them.
The racial we've been saying for years that the racial vote lacks logic at times. When your vote is based upon race, it generally lacks logic.
But there's enough of them that come out to vote. We as African Americans traditionally don't come out to vote.
Yeah.
We don't come out in large numbers. So if he can rally those people and scare those people into thinking that, America's under siege because of immigration, because of Black Lives Matter, because of all of these, he can get those people out to vote. And I hate to say this, our vote doesn't matter. But we saw that in 2016 that it really did matter.
Yes, it does.
And we didn't come out in large numbers to vote.
Yeah. But we complain a lot.
But we complain.
And I find that the untruth that seems to be circulating is that I don't need to vote as long as I'm rioting. Like the riots are going to make a difference, but they're not learning from my generation's mistakes. The only communities that suffer from a riot are the people that are involved in the riots, because the insurance companies take care of the downtown businesses. Everything's back up and running, or either they move out of town, and our communities are left at a disadvantage. I want this new generation to learn. Not only do you have to vote, but you have to do what the women have done over the last 4 years. They got tired of being discriminated against, and they ran for office. And there's a wave of women in the government now because there was a national effort. Okay, you won't give us to us, so we're going to get involved in the process.
That's exactly what, when I saw the riots last month, it just didn't make sense to me. I couldn't understand it.
There's no logic in it.
I look at Philadelphia, and I'm from West Philadelphia.
Okay, so am I.
And 52nd and Parkside, we went in, and we, African Americans, built that plaza.
Mm-hmm.
West Philadelphia Financial Services built that plaza. They were the backers for it. It's the African American Community Bank, and we tore it down.
Yeah.
Not realizing that this guy here who owns the ShopRite Brown, he's done more for the community than just open up supermarkets. He hires ex-offenders. And even after they rioted and destroyed his business, he said, "Listen, I'm going to give you guys all the food for free. Come get it."
Wow. I'm not sure we recognize partners. I think that the illogical approach that we call a response actually plays into the hands of those who maintain a political position that this is what's coming your way if you don't allow me to stay in office, regardless of all the other stuff that I've done that's horrible. But you need to stay in office because these people are coming to your neighborhood, and it's so far from the truth. I have never seen an upheaval in urban Philadelphia find its way to City Line Avenue. Have you?
No, of course not.
Of course it hasn't. So it's a mirage, but it's genius. But we're geniuses also if we'll allow those people that understand the system to get in front of us and say, okay, that's not the way you do it. This is the way we do it. But we've got to go to the polls. We must go to the polls. Why? If there wasn't a threat, there'd be no need to interfere with the mail. These doomsday prophecies. There would be no need for that if the threat wasn't real. We don't know how much leverage we have. And I tell people all the time, Ms. Santa Republican policies, as a rule, benefit me, but they don't benefit the people that I serve. So I can't, with a clear conscience, be a Republican. Not because they won't benefit me as a business person, but they don't benefit the people that I serve. So I can't. Now I've got a couple friends that separate themselves from that, but I can't do it.
Yeah, I have to separate myself from it as a business owner, and just again, there are certain things that I believe the Republican Party, in theory. However, I vote my conscience. But we as African Americans, we don't realize the power we have.
Never have.
We exercise $1.6 trillion in spending in the United States.
We don't need to burn it down. We need not go patronize it. It'll make all the difference in the world.
And they had the blackout day on July 7th, and I thought it was a great idea. However, one day is not enough.
It's not enough.
And it wasn't national enough. It wasn't consistent enough.
It was confusing too.
As a business owner,
you didn't know what to do.
I know. Okay, let me plan. Okay, all right. Y'all not coming on the 7th, so okay.
Yeah,
I'm all right. I'm not really losing much.
No, one day's not going to bother us.
But 30 days, 60 days, 90 days,
a year.
Wait a minute, not that. Remember, the boycott was almost a year. The bus boycott was almost a year.
There you go.
It took that long,
and it took that long for it to break.
But okay, so that's okay. So that's a little bit different in the 1960s than in.
Absolutely.
You need that money now. Everyone's hurting.
Yeah.
The country shut down for 3 months, and look at what happened. 3 months.
Man, Jay, I'm so glad you called us, man. We got to let you go. We have other callers on today.
Thank you, sir.
Don't make this the last time, please.
Oh, it definitely will not be.
All right, I'll talk to you soon now.
Yes, sir.
Bye-bye.
You guys have a blessed day.
John from New Jersey, how you doing?
Hello, good morning.
Hey, man.
Hey, John.
They got you. How'd they get you from New Jersey?
I got a friend who had an operation.
Okay, you're helping somebody out again. Good man.
Yeah, and needed somebody to stay with him. Got real bad short-term memory loss.
Okay.
And tell him something, and 5 minutes later, you got to repeat it all again.
All you have to do is get real tired. Now that happened to you.
Well, I go into the room, like you go into the room, and why am I here?
Yeah, man.
But I get a lot more exercise.
Have to retrace your steps and remember again and then go back again.
Walking back and forth. Yeah, good morning, Bishop Evans.
Hey,
Pastor
man.
Nick.
Morning.
And your lovely listening, loyal listeners.
Yeah, they're doing a great job this morning.
Yeah, and I enjoyed that call from Jay and the one before that.
Yeah, they're really good.
The call from Jay reminded me that 2 or 3 instances where there was real successful black enclave businesses. I think one was in Georgia, and I think one was in Texas.
Okay.
Or Oklahoma, I forget. And big areas, real doctors, lawyers, bankers, businessmen, and they come in and burn the town down.
Tulsa,
Oklahoma.
Tulsa was one. I think there was another one too.
There's a few, but Tulsa was the biggest one.
I mean, but that just infuriates me. Totally. Anyway, my big initiative for September is revival.
Okay.
I want to see revival, and as I was tuned in this morning, it hit me: rest and revival.
Yeah.
Because you need to rest in the Lord. All we need is the Lord's way.
When does ours start?
We're probably going to do it next month.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
we're doing revival next month too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it's and I got this just as I was listening to you. Rest, reflection, repentance, revival, and then reparation to God.
Right.
Okay. Got to give back to God.
Right.
We got to it's reflection, confession, repentance, change your mind, revival, get the energy again. But then, you know, in the Bible there's tithing, but then there's sin offering, peace offering,
Oh yeah.
guilt offerings. So that's above and beyond the tithe,
Mm-hmm.
and that's the reparation to God.
Absolutely.
So we got rest. Just got to say, okay, I'm just going to rest in the Lord, and then reflect on God's way and my way, and how they're different, and then repent, and have a revival, but then reparation to God.
Isn't it amazing? Isn't it amazing how resting in the Lord, remarkably, is not inactivity. Resting in the Lord is a condition of the spirit, condition of the mind.
Yeah.
And the Lord's rest does not mean a period of inactivity.
Mm-hmm.
The Lord's rest comes from after a day of rest, after a remarkable 6 days of creativity and manifestation of faith and moving for the destiny of others. It's not. We tend to process the Lord's rest as inactivity when it's not. It's the period of rest after great activity and great results.
Yeah.
So it's not just a movement; it's productivity that precedes a rest. But then God's back in the business the next day.
But also, it's rest from my emotional, ungodly reactions.
Mm-hmm.
For example, I remember I was in kind of a turmoil, and I said, look, all I got to do is do what I need to do next.
Mm-hmm.
I know what I need to do. It's okay if I do this, or if I can maybe kind of sneak here, or kind of cut a corner here. No, you don't need to cut corners. You just got to do it God's way, and leave it to God. That's the rest in the Lord. Just do it God's way, and rest in His result.
It's like the fig tree. Jesus comes upon the fig tree. He curses it at the roots, and amazingly, He doesn't stand there to see if what He said is going to happen. He goes to His destination, comes back the next day, and what He's spoken and what the disciples heard has actually happened. And they say, how is it that it happened so soon? Because the Lord spoke what He believed, walked away by faith, came back to view the result, and kept moving.
Mm-hmm.
It's an amazing faith dynamic that we have to lay hold of and start to practice. It's like the man who plants the seeds in his field. He does not stand there day, hour after hour, waiting for it to come up. He goes about his business and allows the ground of his faith to produce the harvest he's believing God for. John, it's really good to hear from you, man. How you feeling?
I'm feeling pretty good.
Okay.
I harvested some figs from my friends just right on his porch.
Okay.
We got a fig tree growing up right beside it. I harvested some of the first figs this morning.
Good.
Yeah.
It's just amazing.
Stay strong, man.
Okay. You
Talk
too.
to you soon.
Bless you.
1-866-743-8267, 866-743-8267. Yes.
It's starting to rain. You want to cancel?
Yeah, we have to, don't we?
Yeah, we got to, right? It's pretty hard. Okay.
I just got a text that they stopped setting up because of the rain.
Okay, it's coming down hard enough? All right, we got to cancel.
Okay.
All right, so everyone that's listening, we'll send it out over Facebook and all the others. Drive-in service has to be canceled today because of weather. Drive-in service today, Saturday, August the
29th. I can't.
It's canceled today.
I don't know.
Because we are,
You're coming.
there's some severe weather. So what we need to do.
We do the inside thing again?
They'll do that inside thing.
Yeah, okay.
You're taping inside.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. All right.
All right, let's keep going. I've got line 1, who I don't know who that is. Or do I go to line 3? Lisa, are you there?
Yes. Go to 3. Go to 3.
Leek, how you doing?
Good morning.
How are you this morning? Hello?
You got it?
Yeah, I have it, but she said hello, and now I don't hear it all.
Hello.
Hello? Leek, are you there?
It's Lottie. Lottie.
Oh, Lottie. Why did Lisa write Leek?
I don't know. She was having trouble hearing me. How are you this morning?
All right, we're doing fine. How you doing today?
I am good. I am good. I have been actually anticipating calling in
Okay.
since midweek. It's been just on my spirit what you guys were talking about. You were talking about the scripture in regards to the tare and the wheat, and what was dealing with me was all this social unrest. And one of the things you had mentioned was you said like conception or something like that of the United States, and my mind got to go.
From Wednesday night Bible study, you mean?
From Wednesday night,
Okay,
yeah, Bible study, where you were talking about separating the tare of the wheat, and it really just was on my mind. You know, America came together with a great thought, you know, uniting everybody, but it was everybody with different ideologies, beliefs. And now here we are, and it's just kind of like this social unrest that everyone is talking about. Do you see what I see? Like it's a separation of the root.
Well,
and would you say that this is just a gathering? Because another thing that was brought up was that he said, "Let it grow up together."
Oh, the wheat and the tare, yeah. Well, because you can't tell the difference between the problem causers and the good ones when they're immature. Put it that way.
Right.
Yeah, and I think God's revealing the wheat and the tare.
Right, and that's where what was on my spirit is that is where we are. Okay, but at the end of the day, it's still a harvest. So how would you, you know? I know we need to vote.
On a computer.
You know, this thing has been bugging me for a while, so I know we need to vote. But beyond that, what would you suggest?
Well, I think there's several things. I think the peaceful protests without the destruction of other people's property, the nonviolence will absolutely send the right message.
Mm-hmm.
Secondarily, if we're going to hit them, make a definite impact, it has to be through voting and through economics. So a boycott of participating and going to the stores will get their attention immediately. Voting behind that will get their attention, and the present party, my president's party, is in a panic because they're doing all these illegal things to try to give themselves an advantage. They're not behaving like people that think they can win.
Right. Actually, they're reenacting things of the past.
Absolutely. And I brought it up this morning that, you know, all this George Wallace, Strom Thurmond, McCarthy-type behavior, attacking your enemies from our top political positions doesn't make any sense. It makes no sense that it's okay with my Republican political friends for the president to try to impact Goodyear's business because they won't sell his hats. That makes no sense to me.
Right.
And I don't know why someone sitting out here on the edges can't see that. But, you know, Jay explained it to us. The problem is they're choosing their positions, the politicians are choosing their positions over the impact on people's lives.
I think that they're afraid because they're thinking they're going to be uprooted.
Well, yeah,
and I think that
they're afraid to lose their seats.
Right, yeah, they're afraid to lose their seats. And,
but they're going to lose their spot. They're going to lose a positive spot in history. Mm-hmm. And politicians need positive histories behind them.
Right.
For the legacy to be fulfilled. Thank you, Louder.
Oh, you are so welcome. I miss y'all.
Miss y'all too.
Can't
Talk to
wait
you.
till we get back in fellowship.
I
All
know
right,
that's
y'all have
right.
a good one.
Bye-bye.
All right, bye-bye.
1-866-743-8267, 1-866-743-8267. Let's go to Tom in Florida, and then we got another light blinking for someone else. Tom, Florida, how you doing?
Good morning, Bishop, Pastor Nick.
Morning.
Hey, I just want to go back to the beginning of the show when you were talking about listening to other people's perspectives.
Mm-hmm.
One was, I try to listen to MSNBC, Fox, and PBS
Sure.
when I can.
Mm-hmm.
And when you listen to the stories, it sounds as though you're not listening to the same story depending on what channel you're listening to.
Two different Americas.
I'm telling you, it's like, is that the same story? And the perspective you'll get from Fox to MSNBC is night and day.
And I think what I've noticed, and this is a pattern over time, there's a very clear system of justification or indictment depending on the incident. And they don't mind looking as though they have a double mind. One station will indict an incident, the other station will make an excuse for the incident.
Correct.
And then sometimes you'll see the very same thing happen or flip, where something that should not be made an excuse for by a quote-unquote liberal outlet, there's an excuse for it. And then the conservative outlets, quote-unquote, because that's not really, I don't know what that means anymore. They're either justifying or excusing something that, if you're looking at it, there is no real reason to justify or excuse the situation. Like the young kid walking down the street with an automatic weapon draped across his chest with his hands raised, and the police wave him on.
That was amazing.
Chaining a paralyzed man to his bed. Makes no sense.
Yeah.
The excuse that if the rioters hadn't been in the street, the young man wouldn't have a reason to shoot the people. What about he should have had his behind home like he was supposed to? And what about they were encouraging him to help them maintain peace? For real?
Yeah, and that's learned behavior. His mother had a lot to do with that, bringing him. That is learned behavior.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. One other thing, you were saying the president doesn't take responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I happened to look at the RNC this week.
I did too.
And he takes responsibility differently. What he says is, instead of 180,000 people, there'd have been millions. So depending on which side of the fence you're on or what tribe you are, you'll listen to it and go, oh, he's taking responsibility. It would have been much worse.
He never does.
He used it could have been worse concept.
Yeah, and that's just stupid.
Yeah.
What I did, like PBS was fact checking a lot of what was said, and it was like wrong. I like PBS a little better than both of the other networks because they seem to be a lot more
balanced, in line with what's real. They're really trying to get to the bottom of what's going on. Sure.
And when they were fact checking, it was almost funny because they were doing it right afterwards. And they had a couple of people from the convention on the following night and questioning them, and they were like, "Well, you don't understand. You have your facts wrong." And it's like, no, we fact checked this, and that wasn't correct. So,
Good to talk to you, Tom. How's things in Florida? What kind of weather you guys have down there?
I got to tell you, I'm so happy that the hurricane that hit Louisiana and Texas skirted us because it looked like it was headed right for Fort Lauderdale.
Wow.
Then it took that dive down below Cuba, and we were like, thank the Lord.
Wow. So you guys just getting rain, or what's happening?
Oh, no, it's a beautiful day. I'm ready to go out.
Tom, you killed me. All right, man. Talk to you soon.
Take care.
Bye-bye. 1-866-743-8267. We've got Brenda from New Jersey and Danny from Florida. Let's go to Brenda, line 4. Good morning, Brenda.
Good morning. Good morning, Bishop.
How you doing? You need to turn your device down so you don't echo.
Is it better now?
Yeah, I don't hear me talking to you twice.
You're beautiful.
How are you this morning?
I'm doing well, thank you. And how are you?
We're doing all right. What's your comment today?
Okay. Bishop, good morning again, and Pastor Nick, I'm doing well. I just want to touch on a few things.
Okay.
Well, the comment, I guess, is more like a statement. The statement is this. I look at things as being quite simple of the United States of America and what it represents, and how it's being ran and how it's been run throughout history. And I think that, again, people are fearful of having a voice. And if they're not connected with the Lord Jesus Christ or have a relationship with God, then they're going to be fearful. And when I say it's simple, Bishop, I'm saying that we know what it is, but we need to speak the truth. And I have worked in corporate America for 35 years, and I have whips on my back, but I have healed from that as I became matured in life.
Sure.
And as I got closer with the Lord, I never had a problem with voicing how I felt or letting someone know what they have done was wrong. It fell on deaf ears, and I was angry, and I would just get up and leave and say, I'm out. But now I realize that you have to stand for your truth. Everybody's not going to make it to heaven. Everybody's not going to be on board. But it's a part of being suppressed when you have a certain classification. And I'm not going to go too deep with it because a lot of people can't handle the deepness. But that's when you have classifications on people, they want to know people's races. We're all humans. Treat us equally, but eliminate classification. And like Martin Luther King said, don't judge me by the color of my skin, but the content of my character. And that was a religious man, and that follows me. And I just want to say that, Bishop, because I do understand what's going on. I don't agree with it, and sometimes I'll stay humble, and I'll work behind the scenes, because as long as I'm educating the youth and letting them know what they need to do, it's not about fighting, it's not about cussing, it's not about, shooting. It's about educating yourself to make the best decision for your household, for your family, for your community. And once you do that, you'll be able to branch out of the community and make a difference in another community. So it's going to take time. Are we going to get it right? I believe we will. It may not be here on earth, but I believe we will. So I just wanted to just share that with you, Bishop.
Thank you, Brenda.
And I love you all very much.
Thank you. Talk to you soon.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Bye-bye. I believe our last caller today will be Danny. Good morning, my brother. How are you?
Good morning, Bishop, Pastor Nick. How are y'all doing today?
Doing great, man.
Well, I just was listening, and something that you all were talking about was rest, and you hit the nail on the head, that we must rest in Jesus. And something came to mind when you all were talking about that I heard the voice of Jesus say, come unto me and rest. Lay down that weary one, lay down thy head upon thy breast. I came to Jesus as I was, weary, wounded, and sad. I found in him a resting place, and he has made me glad. So we have peace in Jesus, as you said. The things that has really bothered me this week is that you also brought to mention is that we don't learn from our past, and we don't benefit by burning down what's ours and what have you. Do not recover from that. And what I've seen happen, I mentioned this to Pastor Nick, the earlier part of the year when we had the Martin Luther King parade here in Fort Lauderdale, that we had a group that came in, and they weren't registered in the parade, but they infiltrated in that. And they came in one banner, and then as soon as they parades proceeded, they changed the banner. It was the Republican Party, re-elect Donald Trump.
Okay.
And what they were trying to do, they were trying to agitate the crowd. And I spoke to some of the young men that ran up to the car, and they happened to be go into the car. And I said, please don't do that. They're trying to agitate you. They're trying to start trouble. And we have to recognize that, because if something would have happened there, then that whole parade would have been spoiled. And we have to be aware of that. And if you notice that what happened in Georgia, the burning, it wasn't the people that were in the actually demonstrating. It was outside people. And they showed a photo of this lady burning this, I think it was a Wendy's, and whatever happened with that. We heard nothing about that thereafter.
Well, you don't hear about it because in Philadelphia, there are pictures of pallets of bricks being brought into the neighborhood, into the city. That didn't come from the hood. So that was shipped in from out of state, out of the area, for the specific purpose of watch this, giving people ammunition and participating in an event that was going to bring a negative perspective on the community and the people that were protesting. It moved the voice of the protest from what it was originally created for over to something else that could not be respected, not be supported, and that would get a lot of news coverage but would not move us forward. We have to stop falling for these snares, these traps that are set up in the system to, watch this, tap into our frustration and cause us to react instead of responding.
The other thing that I noticed is that this week the corona has been downplayed, and also
downplayed was hardly mentioned.
Exactly.
It doesn't exist if you listen to the platform. Well, it didn't have a platform. It was the My President show.
And the storm was not played up, and to mention, what was going on.
I didn't hear him talk about it.
Exactly. But as soon as there's a photo op, we're going to see him go over there and do a photo op.
Danny, did you know that some of the homes in Houston, Puerto Rico, and the Virgin Islands have not been rebuilt yet?
That's correct. And,
I was not aware of that.
And,
so where's FEMA in those neighborhoods?
All of that is just for show. Going through that, I went through that myself. This year, from the last fall, my roof was just replaced at the beginning of this year.
From last year?
2 years.
2 years?
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Yes. And the thing that we have to be aware of, are you aware of the new corona test that they're trying to put out?
The saliva one?
No, they have a new one that they're trying to put out that you would administer yourself. Okay? And they're supposed to have an app on the phone that you put on the phone.
Danny, I need you to stop lying this morning.
Bishop, I'm just trying to. I always try to keep you aware of this.
I respect you, but you can't. You're just making up stuff now.
No. Bishop, I'm serious. White House sound.
That's so the numbers will be suppressed.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Control of the numbers.
Oh. Well, my president told an interviewer that the guy was looking at the coronavirus the wrong way, bringing the amount of people that died into the equation, that you couldn't look at it that way. I saw him say it. You got to eliminate. You can't, when you want to look at this thing, you can't look at the number of people that died. I think we were at like at 155,000 at that point. He said that number doesn't really indicate how well we're doing. We're not doing well if one person's dying. We're losing 1,000 people a day. That's not good. Man, how's my sister doing?
She's doing great, Bishop.
Please tell her I asked for her.
Will do.
And you tell her I said if she have any trouble with you at all, call me.
Yeah, you forgot about it.
All right, be back.
All right, man. Talk to you.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Out of time.
Yeah.
We're out of time?
Conversation and I forgot. Sorry.
Okay.
It's been a minute.
Oh, boy. Phil, we miss you. Okay, so everybody, we know that because of the weather today, we're not having our noonday service, but we're
going to talk about it after this.
We're going to have a conversation.
Yeah, let's figure out what we're
All
going to
right,
do.
just have your notifications buttons hot and ready so that just in case we go live at 12 from the sanctuary, you will not miss anything. But tomorrow we've got a great day planned for you. Service starts at 8, another one at 9, phenomenal discussion at 10, back at 11 and 12, and then 6 o'clock tomorrow night. 10 times better is back again. 5:30 begins our discussion. Teaching begins, the conversation begins, the teaching begins at 6. 6:40 thereabouts. Come back with the closing conversation. You don't want to miss 10 times better tomorrow, in addition to all of the great word that you'll hear tomorrow morning from 8 until 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm Bishop David J. Evans for Reverend Nicholas Smith. This has been On Point, the #1 Saturday morning Christian-based call-in talk show in America. Live every Saturday morning on your smart device, anywhere in the world at David G. Evans 1. I want to thank the most intelligent callers in the world for joining us once again as we look at things from a kingdom perspective, from a scriptural perspective at all times. I want you to stay strong, stay safe, and remember, faith acts like a thing is so even when it's not so, that it might be so. God bless you. We'll see you next week.